When you think about the New York Yankees, what comes to mind? Is it this?
Another chance to the left side. Hayes waits. The Yankees are champions of baseball.
Or this?
That is fair down the right field line. Giambi on his way to third, and they're going to wave him around. The throw misses a cutoff man, shot into the plate, out at the plate.
What about this?
In the 8th inning, leading by 3 as Boone hits it to deep left. That might send the Yankees to the World Series. Boone, a hero in Game 7.
If you're too young to remember Reggie Jackson, but old enough to remember, well, everything I just showed you, you probably pictured one of those moments. Or, at the very least, something from around that time. The late 1990s and early 2000s was a transformative period for the Yankees and their fans. They once again, and seemingly for good, established themselves as the best team in all of sports. For as long as he owned the Yankees, George Steinbrenner expected a World Series championship every season, an impossible standard that his team somehow managed to meet for 4 out of 5 years. They were even 3 outs away from having won 5 times in 6 years. And had Josh Beckett pitched anything less than a complete game shutout, they very well might have won 6 out of 8 World Series. And you know what? I don't remember any of it. As I talked about in a previous video, I became a Yankees fan in 2006, when I was 8 years old. I'm 21 now, about to turn 22, and I'm part of a unique generation of Yankees fans. I missed out on the highest of highs, but also the lowest of lows. And yet, the Yankees baseball I grew up watching was, in many ways, a lot like the Yankees baseball I didn't get a chance to see. Everyone thought the dynasty was seemingly still going strong. Derek Jeter was still the shortstop, Jorge Posada was still the catcher, Andy Pettitte was still a starter, and, of course, Mariano Rivera was still the closer. My Yankees were still an offensive juggernaut, powered by sluggers like Jason Giambi, Gary Sheffield, Hideki Matsui, and some guy named Alex Rodriguez. My Yankees were led by Joe Torre. My Yankees played in the same old, great stadium. And my Yankees would win close to 100 games every season. But when it came to October, my Yankees weren't exactly Yankee-like. The 2006 Yankees won 97 games and were seemingly destined for another Subway Series with the Mets until Kenny Rogers. No, not that Kenny Rogers. 41-year-old former Yankee Kenny Rogers, who shut out the highest scoring offense in all of Major League Baseball in Game 3 of the ALDS. Facing elimination in Game 4, the Yankees started Jared Wright, and the Detroit Tigers did what most teams did when the Yankees started Jared Wright. They won. On the bright side, that Subway Series rematch wouldn't have happened regardless of what the Yankees did.
Struck him out looking. The Cardinals are going to Michigan to take on the Tigers.
The 2007 Yankees made an exciting, improbable midseason comeback to win the wild card and were a division series win over the Cleveland Indians away from yet another legendary ALCS battle with the Boston Red Sox until the Midges. Grady Sizemore was equally as damaging, but still. The Yankees lost in 4 games, and the Red Sox won the World Series. Not good.
Game over, series over, and the Red Sox are world champs again.
The 2008 Yankees had a new manager in Joe Girardi, but did something I literally didn't think was possible. They missed the postseason entirely. They still won 89 games, but the final season at Old Yankee Stadium ended with a meaningless win over the last-place Baltimore Orioles in late September. Jeter's post-game speech, and more importantly, Jose Molina hitting the last home run in the stadium's history, made me feel a little better, but yeah, 08 sucked. Shout out to Xavier and 80 though. Then came 2009. As someone who's trying to make a video about how deprived I am as a Yankees fan, this certainly throws a wrench into those plans. The 2009 Yankees were everything I could ever want out of a team and more. They had 17 walk-off victories, CC Sabathia, AJ Burnett, and Mark Teixeira were worth every penny, and of course, A-Rod was the postseason hero we had always hated him for not being. Add in a legendary 6 RBI night for Matsui in Game 6 of the World Series, and as Joe Buck said,
"Oh, the Yankees are back on top! World champions for the 27th time!"
But to be honest, I didn't watch the game on Fox. I watched it in person. I was lucky enough to be taken to Game 6 by my uncle, and he made a point of documenting most of the night on his iPhone. After I calmed down a bit, my uncle caught me saying something that still kind of creeps me out to this day.
28 next year! Let's go 28!
28 next year? There I was, an 11-year-old Yankees fan who minutes earlier had just seen them win the World Series for the first time in person, and I was seemingly possessed by the then still alive George Steinbrenner. I was already thinking about winning it all again next year. Believe me, if I could go back in time, slap this kid in the face, and tell him to live in the moment, I would. But if I'm being completely honest, I don't think what I said was that crazy. Let's be real. There was every reason to believe the Yankees were set up for another dynasty. The core four still had a lot left in the tank. Sabathia, Burnett, and Teixeira had perfect starts to their long-term deals, and there really wasn't a lot of serious competition in the American League. And as I said at the beginning, no one really thought the dynasty from the late 90s had ended in the first place. Growing up, the Yankees winning the World Series was the expected outcome every year, so when that didn't happen, it felt as if the team that beat them had just refused to follow the script or something. So for me, 2009 felt like a hard reset for Major League Baseball. Someone unplugged MLB, plugged it back in, and the result was a return to normalcy. The Yankees won the World Series and were about to win a lot more. That's just how this works, right? In 2010, the Yankees acquired Cliff Lee, but then didn't actually acquire Cliff Lee, and a few months later they wound up facing him and the Texas Rangers in the ALCS. They actually won Game 1 as they erased a 5-1 deficit in the 8th inning, much to the delight of former President George W. Bush and Nolan Ryan. It was an awesome comeback, one that had me convinced, yep, the Yankees were going back-to-back. 29 next year, anyone? But of course, the Rangers won Game 2, Game 3, and Game 4. Game 4 was especially painful, as the Yankees were leading 3-2 with 2 outs in the 6th inning when Benji Molina officially became my least favorite Molina, Alfred included. The Yankees won Game 5 to send the series back to Texas, but in Game 6, Phil Hughes got roughed up and Colby Lewis pitched the game of his life, and that was it. The Yankees were done. I was stunned. But it's okay. We'll sign Cliff Lee. Well, the Yankees won the World Series in 1996, but lost in 1997. So that means in 2011, we're going to party like it's 1998. Right?
Valverde deals, and a swing and a miss!
Okay. On to 2012. Oh God. Let's try 2013? 2014? 2015?
And a swing and a ground ball to short. Big hop for Correa, and the Astros have advanced to the Division Series.
2016? Okay, I get it. There isn't gonna be a new dynasty. Let's just get A-Rod and Tex out of here, and let's have a nice, slow, steady rebuild. No, I said slow.
There it goes. Deep to left. Really deep. See ya! Oh my goodness, what a shot by Aaron Judge!
Just as I finally accepted that the Yankees were simply an old, bad baseball team that had no hope to win in the immediate future, 2017 came along and ruined my mental health for what is likely the foreseeable future. Out of absolutely nowhere, the 2017 Yankees were incredible. They were the best parts of 2009 mixed with the best parts of the late 90s. You had a bunch of young, unproven, exciting players, a few grizzly veterans, a flair for the dramatic, and, oh yeah, a deep run into October. They won 91 games and realistically should have won quite a bit more, but they had to settle for the first wild card. And this is when it got real serious, real fast.
And the pitch rocked to right field. Tie game.
The Yankees won the wild card game, thanks in large part to their opponent being the Minnesota Twins, but still. A new era of Yankees baseball was born that night in the Bronx. Their ALDS opponent was far more formidable in the defending American League champion Cleveland Indians, who, remember, had just won an AL record 22 straight games a few weeks earlier. They even won the first 2 games of the series in Cleveland. But when the Yankees returned home,
Swing and a drive to right! And that one's gone!
they were unbeatable. They took games 3 and 4, forcing a game 5 back in Cleveland. Didi Gregorius took Corey Kluber deep twice. An older but wiser CC Sabathia struck out 9 batters, and Brett Gardner sealed the deal with a huge 2-run single in the top of the 9th after a tough 12-pitch at-bat. The Yankees won Game 5 and advanced to the ALCS, where they'd face the Houston Astros. The Yankees lost to a trash can in the first 2 games of the series, but at the time, I didn't know that. I just thought the Astros were the better team. Besides, the Yankees had already gone farther that year than I ever could have imagined. I was now a wise 19-year-old and knew that championships didn't come easy for any team, not even the Yankees. So it was probably best that I ditched this silly pipe dream of them starting a new dynasty this year and making it to the World Series. Oh, come on!
Glorious Yankees lead. Into the gap and 2 runs are going to score.
The 2017 Yankees pulled a Godfather 3 and pulled me back in just when I thought I was out. They took a 3-2 series lead and needed just 1 win to get to the World Series. And they had 2 chances to get it.
Fly ball in the air to center. Back is Springer at the wall. A leap and a catch.
Okay, 1 chance to get it.
The Houston Astros win the pennant.
Okay, deep breaths. The Yankees just lost to a trash can, and you don't even know it yet, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You know what? They have a great new manager, Aaron Boone. They just acquired Giancarlo Stanton, and the Red Sox don't even have a DH. 2018 is gonna be the Yankees' year. It has to be.
Here he comes, the 1-2. Bouncing ball, gonna be a tough play. Nunez gloves, throws, and in time for the outs. And that's it. The Boston Red Sox win the division series.
Okay, you know what? We need another year of seasoning. I mean, and, nothing's going to motivate a Yankees team more than getting their asses kicked by the Red Sox, right? Plus, we're going to get Bryce Harper or Manny Machado. Maybe even both of them. DJ LeMahieu? Alright, well, as long as we don't run into the Astros again, we'll be fine.
Altuve has just sent the Astros to the World Series.
Do you get the point? Being a Yankees fan hasn't been as easy as you think these last 20 years. Have I seen a lot of winning baseball? Of course. But have I seen a lot of World Series winning baseball? Well, no. And pretty much every time the Yankees came close to the World Series over the last decade, they fell flat on their face in typically heartbreaking fashion. I grew up, like many of you did, believing the Yankees were still this unstoppable force, this evil empire that would stop at nothing until it was on top. And that was true in the late 90s, but it hasn't been true since then. Which means I belong to a generation of Yankees fans that really has very little to celebrate. All I see at the stadium and on TV are games and moments I wasn't around for, and it sucks. It's like becoming a New England Patriots fan now, or a Chicago Bulls fan in the age of Derrick Rose. As much as you try to move forward and focus on the present, the past lingers and you get fooled into thinking everything's the same when it's not. I love the Yankees and always will, and obviously their future is very bright right now. Maybe they will finally win the World Series again soon. Maybe even this year. I mean, they signed Garrett Cole, the Red Sox traded Mookie Betts, and the Astros aren't going to be as good, so... Son of a bitch!
Start spreading the news.